Okay, so welcome again to this session on efficient use of Microsoft Word in dissertation, thesis, or manuscript writing. So we will cover at least this much of topic in this session. So handling the Word file for your thesis preparation. This include page setup, style setup, special characteristics, or sorry characters write up, header footer setup, and not footnote setup, page break, handling your tables, handling your images, creating index, creating table of content, and reference management. So as far as I know, you people might aware about many of these features or tools in Microsoft Word. Probably you are using Microsoft Word since long back, but still I will show you some tricks or kind of, let's say, amazing feature which is in Microsoft Word that will help you to, let's say, manage your thesis. So let's move to the newer document, right? So this is my newer file. You may see document 1, it is written. So now many time I found that researcher or those who are writing their theses are creating separate Microsoft Word file for each of their chapters, right? So I think let's say they are preparing one file entire, let's say Word file for introduction, one entire file for the material and method, one entire file for the literature review, then other file for the results and discussion, likewise. But it might be convenient at your end, or I don't know how convenient actually to manage these multiple files. But I suggest and advise we should create at least a single file for your entire report and dissertation. There are lots of feature in Microsoft Word which allows you to efficiently handle your file of more than 300-400 pages, right? It has a very, let's say, efficient features, so there is no need to create such separate file and then joining them afterwards. So rather than doing that, I suggest to create a single file for entire your work. So now let's start. The first step that I suggest is you should set up the let's say background features of your file, right? So let's say we start with the margin and layout, right? So I will not discuss that part in much detail. Probably you know how to select the margin. So in layout section there is an option of margin, so you can select whatever margin suits you. There are options of customization of margins. In similar way, you may select the size of your document from A4 to there are other legal, executive, A5 kind. So generally in academic dissertation or manuscript writing we choose A4 sizing, right? And right now I am utilizing normal margin, so I just set it up. Now let's adjust the font. So before that, I suggest to enable a feature of, let's say, uh, what we call is navigation pan. So you may find this option in view section. So if you just click the view and found one window or one option called navigation pan, so just enable it, and by doing it you may find a new left hand side panel. So how it help you, I will explain you in later words, but keep, let's say, such kind of practice while writing your work. So just open up the navigation pan. Right now just concentrate how I can manage the different sections. So let's say I just want to create a first chapter introduction, right? So how I'll manage it, normally what people do, they type the title of their chapter, and then either utilize this numbering option, and then, or sometimes I also found that people do it manually. They type 1, then point, and then introduction, likewise, right? So this is actually a foolish practice. Don't do that. You just type your topic or name of the chapter, and then there is a one more option. Just let me enable the zoom option. It will be easier to you people view it clearly. Okay, so see, in your home tab and in paragraph section, there are three basic options for the bulleting, for numbering, and one more option, we call it headings. So I will choose that part. So once you click it, you may find this type of heading option, right? So I am right now selecting that heading option. So look at here how nicely it has selected the numbering system, and you will get astonished as soon as we move forward to the session. But the thing is, now I don't need this kind of font style and color combinations as per the guidelines of my university, or say for example for the journal for which you are targeting your manuscript. It has a totally different styles of fonts and etc. So don't worry about it. If you carefully look at the style section, right? So here you may see there is a one window in brown color has been selected, and it is cited as a heading 1. So this is actually what I did is I have selected introduction as a one of the my first heading, and it's all the styles is, let's say, is set as per this style option, right? So what I will do, I will make the changes, whatever changes I required as per the guidelines. Let's say for example, I am setting the font size as a Arial, and then font size 14, and I'm making it bold. Now what I just need to do is I have to right click this heading option, that actually the style of my current let's say setup, and I will just click the update heading 1 to match the selection. So all the let's say attributes or formatting of this heading 1 option is now according to whatever you need, right? Now suppose I am writing something, and now I need to introduce a subheading of this chapter. Let's say this topic is about self micro emulsification, so I want to introduce with the lipids, right? So technically there must be a subheading with the number 1.1. So but I don't need to do it manually. If you look carefully, exactly beside to this heading 1, there is a one settings called the heading 2, right? And right now whatever I am writing, right, the normal text, right? So if I select the normal text, it is according to the this normal, let's say, style, right? So now suppose I just want to change the style of the normal font also, then I will just change the style format, and I will select the now look at this, wherever my cursor is, this first word has a Arial font and the rest has a Calibri font, right? But as soon as I will update this format in this style setup, all the my content is updated into the Arial fonts, right? So this is how you can manage your entire thesis. So now let's move to the subtopics. So I will just click the heading 2 and look at this, how it has automatically updated it, and this is one time practice. Let's say this is 11 to bold. Okay, now I'm writing something. Now see, all the formats are same. Now suppose I need to introduce one more subheading, or let's say surfactant, So again then I will select the heading 2, so automatically it is updated. Right now I'm writing in the section of surfactant, and now in surfactant just I want to introduce a subheading. So if again, as soon as I have utilized the heading 2, there will be an automatic activation of heading 3, right? So what I'll do, I will, let's say, anionic surfactant. So I will just select it. So see how nicely it has selected the its actual number, right? So it should be 1.2.1 and exactly it is 1.2.1. and italic, let's say I will update the format. So once I have updated it, now no need to update it every time. Now suppose I am writing cationic surfactant and just want to make it a subheading of this 1.2 chapter. I have to just select the heading. So see it has automatically updated the number 1.2.2. okay. Now what is the advantage of this practice is, now suppose later on I think I should add one subtopic here, say for example solid lipids. So if you have did it manually, you have to change all these numbers, right? But now see the index or number of this cationic surfactant is 1.2.2, and suppose I want to or let's say for the surfactant it is 1.2, and I am adding this solid lipid as a one heading. So I think this surfactant should be 1.3 and this solid lipid should be 1.2. so it's very easy to manage. I will just select the heading. So now this is 1.2, this is my solid lipid, surfactant get automatically updated to 1.3, and rest all the subheading of the surfactant get updated to 1.3.1, 1.3.2, right? So this is how you can manage easily. And if you have observed in navigation pane, as I am writing my work, you may find this, let's say all these index are getting generated automatically, right? So suppose I want to move to the cationic surfactant, I have to just click it, right? So it will automatically divert me or move the cursor to the particular section. Now what are the advantage? Now suppose later on I think I should first discuss the surfactant and then I should discuss the lipid. So I can manage it so easily. From navigation pane I will just select the surfactant and move it to the lipid part, and look at this how the numbers are automatically changed. Now surfactant is 1.1, its subtopics are already updated, and now lipid is 1.2 and solid lipid is 1.3, right? So this is the advantage of utilizing this style tab for managing your work. Now suppose just 1 minute, let me save it. Okay, now suppose this is your introduction chapter, and now you want to move to the next part, that is your literature review. So what the people do actually is people move to the next page by just giving the multiple enters, right? So don't do that, right? It's a really wrong practice. Just let me show you what may happens if you are doing this way. Let's say I am writing literature review and the heading should be 2.0, so I need not to take care about now. I'll just select the heading 1, automatically it will be 2.0. I'm writing something. Now what happens? Now suppose later on I think I should now add let's say co-surfactant here, and I should give 1.4 as a number where I will write something in co-surfactant. So see what happened. Entire formatting of your second chapter is moved down, right? So in the same manner, if you are dealing with your 150 plus pages thesis, the all the formatting of your rest of the pages get disturbed, right? So that is why you should not move to your, let's say, newer page by just giving multiple enters, right? What is the best practice is, uh, just keep it in mind. If you want to move to the newer page in the same chapter, now suppose I want to move to the newer page, but I'm not changing my chapter, I still in introduction chapter. I should use this page break, right? In layout section you may find this option. In layout, in page chapter, there is an option called break, and in break there are multiple options. So there is a common, let's say, strategy here. If you want to move to the newer page in the same chapter, then you should go with the page break. And if you want to the newer to move to the newer page for the, let's say, newer chapter, entirely newer section, then you should use the section break. So in this case I want to move to the newer page for the newer chapter, so I will use the section break. So at the end of the first chapter I will just keep my cursor at the end, and just select this next page. So I am now here in the newer page, and let's say I'm writing literature review, and now just will select its heading. Now look, suppose now I'm writing something in surfactant, right? So I'm writing or co-surfactant, but see, everything moved down, but whatever it is, my newer chapter always start from the newer page. So obviously one page is added here, but whatever the formatting is afterwards to this literature review page, it will be maintained, right? So this is one common strategy, you should adopt it, right? Now in literature review again, let's say I'm writing something, and let's say in literature review I would like to introduce about the article, right? So article should be heading 2.1. I'm writing something and I would like to introduce research articles, right? So it should be 2.1.1. I'm writing something, and let's say now review articles. So again, see, I need not to take care about the numberings, automatically they are managed. And now let's say now I would like to introduce a patent, so it should be heading 2. So see, it has automatically let's say discuss, let's say updated 2.2. in patent, let's say I want to just segregate it, published patent. So this is my published patent section, and now let's say granted patents. So I am writing it about the granted patent, right? So this is how you should manage your work. Now let's move to the next section, that is material and method. So I will obviously use the next section, and here is a material and method I would like to introduce here as one of my chapter. So this is my heading 1, so I will list out. Okay, now one may ask the question, why we should practice this let's say section. So apart from the keeping the this formatting let's say undisturbed, there is another advantage. So in most of the let's say reports and dissertation, you have to add your footer, right? So let's say I am writing my footer here like introduction. Okay, now what happens, as soon as I write the introduction here, now I just want to move to the literature review section. So simply I will click here, I will click to the literature review, and look at here, this is, let's say, mismatch. In footer there should be literature review, but here is introduction. But as I change the literature review here, right? right? So here it is fine, but once again I will move back to the introduction. There is a mismatch, right? So that's not an issue. Let's do it correctly. So first write your header for the section 1, then move to the section 2 and just click, and you may find if you double click in the footer section, there will be option for the, let's say, footer and rest of the features. But in navigation point you may find this option link to previous, right? It is now selected. Right now it is selected. So what does it mean? My entire section 2, right? This is actually section 2. Look at this is section 2 and previous one is a section 1. So right now my every let's say formatting is being followed by the section 2 as of section 1. So now what I will do, I will unlink it and I will write it again now here, literature review. Okay, so now it is set. Here is the literature review, and in introduction session there is an introduction. So now I'll move to the material and method section. In material method section I have to do the same thing. I will unlink this section 3 with the section 2 and will write material and method. Okay, now what about the footer? So footer is almost common in all the section. Let's say it start with the name of Charotar University of Science and Technology. Alright, and I would like to add here the page number. So there are lots of options. You may select the page number directly from here, but one more way I can suggest you is just go to the insert, and in insert section you may find one option called field, right? In field you may add lots of field, right? Ask author's name, bibliography, and lots of other options. So I will select the page number. Here is a page. You may even update the print date, whatever your requirement. I will select the format and then I will just insert it. So here is my page number 3, page number 2, page number 1, all is now set. Okay, now what is the advantage of, let's say, following this system? But before that, let's move to the another part of this session, that is handling your or managing your table and image. So now normally, suppose I would like to introduce some table here. What I'll do, I will go into the insert section and select the table. I will select the row and column as per my requirement. I may, let's say, change the type of my table. In most of the scientific literature you may find this kind of table where just header and footer lines are there. So let's say this is serial number, then XYZ ABC, let's say these are my table. Now obviously I need to provide some caption to my table. So people what actually do here is they just write table 1 and then they write, like, say, research article details, right? So don't do this practice. I will show you another better way. In you just select your table, make a right click, and you may find one option called insert caption. So use this option. In insert caption, just you write your table's caption and just give an OK, right? So as you select it, in style section you may find one separate style option for your captions, right? So now suppose as per your university or journal's guideline, the caption should be, let's say, Arial 11 italic, right? So just make that necessary changes and update your style in this section. So I have updated it. Okay, Now suppose I am adding a table here, another table. I will just show you what are the advantages. So let's say I will again insert the caption, so you may see the number of table is automatically managed. So I am writing details of published patents. Okay, right. So this is how I can now. Suppose what is the advantage. Now suppose I am writing here and giving a context of table 2. So generally what people do, like they write as shown in as shown in table 2. Then they explain whatever the details is in table 2. So I again suggest don't do this kind of, let's say, practice. If you want to introduce your reference here in tags as shown in table 2, don't do it manually. In reference section you may file one option called cross reference, right? To utilize that cross reference, as soon as you select this cross reference, there are plenty of options like numbered item, heading, bookmark, footnote, endnote, equation, figures and tables. So in current scenario, this is table, so I have selected table, and look at the section. They have shown me a list of table that I have just created. Now I would like to refer the table 2. So I will select table 2, and normal let's say scenario, I don't require to cite entire caption in the text, so I will select only label and number, right? So see, I will insert it and close it. So see, as shown in table 2, right? Now suppose there is a good number of patents here. Okay, now what happens, why we should adopt this kind of practice? Now suppose before table 1, later on I think I should add one more table here with good data to enhance my presentation of work. So obviously now this is a newer table, statistics of articles. I have written here statistics. I need to just update my yeah, it's already updated. Okay, now see, as soon as I added a newer table here, my table 1 is here. So obviously now the previous table 1 is now table 2, and the previous table 2 is now number table 3. But look at the text, right? In text I have written like as shown is to table 2, but actually it should be as shown is table 3. So that's fine, I need not to take care. I can directly update the field from here by just keeping a right click, or don't worry, if you have lots of table in your thesis, just close your file and open it. I'm right now not closing it. I am rather than going into printing option and just go back without printing it, and look at here, the numbers is updated, right? So as soon as table 3, so there will be no any error in my write-up, whether I delete any table later words or add any table in my section. Okay, so this is about the table. Now what about the images? So suppose I would like to introduce some image here. So let me find some good figure. Say for example, this is the one figure I would like to introduce. So I just copy and paste here as we do in our routine. Actually I have selected too big figure. Okay, not an issue, just use a lighter one. Okay, I will select it. Okay, so this is my figure, and again obviously I would like to add the caption. So don't just write, there is a common rule, you should give a caption of figure below the figure and caption of table above the table. This is a common practice. So don't do it manually, just right click the figure and there is an option of figure. So here it is showing a table, but just select the figure here and you will have a figure 1. Let's say statistics of, this is clinical trials of tuberculosis. Okay, so look at here how nicely it is captioned. Now I'm suppose writing about it and I would like to introduce like as shown in figure 1. So don't do it manually, go to post reference, select your figure option, there will be your figure 1, just select label and number instead of entire caption and just click insert. There will be a link of, let's say, figure 1 statistics of clinical trials. Okay, so this is how you can manage the figure and tables. Now what is its advantage, why we should manage in this way? So now suppose I want to insert a content, table of content here. So it's obviously a newer chapter, so I will give a page section break here. So look at this, I have just added a newer page. देख लीजिए यहाँ पे मैंने एक सेक्शन ब्रेक दिया है, right? By just clicking this symbol in paragraph, you may see the let's say formatting in your text, right? And just disabling it, it will disappear. So I have just added one section here. So again I need not to take care about the formatting, as this introduction start from the newer page, literature review start from the newer page, and my material and method also start from the newer page, right? So now I just need to unlink this my introduction section, because it is now section 2. So I will unlink it, and this is my table of content, so I will just make it table of content here. So now what is the advantage? So there is one practice of making a table of content manually, but don't do that, because now we have already implemented the appropriate way of utilizing this Word, Microsoft Word. So in reference section there is the option called table of content. Go there and just select your table of content and look at here how nicely your table of content is generated. Introduction at page number 2, surfactant page, and no need to take care about the page of number manually, because let's say suppose let's say this literature review start from table number 4, and somehow I am adding something here, and if your entire chapters moves one page below, then let's say I'm writing something, I'm adding something in my introduction, right? So one page is moved. So now basically literature review is at page number 5, right? So don't worry, just go and update your table, update entire table. So right now literature review is at page number 4. I will just click and look at the literature page number has been updated, right? So this is the charm of utilizing or practicing this kind of formatting style. Now many of the time you have to also let's say insert the list of tables and list of figure. So in a reference there are option called insert table of figure. So just select the insert table of figure. Suppose you want to insert the list of table, to select table and just give it OK. So see, here is the list of table. We have 3 tables, table 1 to 3 with their respective page number. Again you want to insert the list of figure, go to the same part and just select the figure and just click it OK. Now I have figure 1, page number 6. Not only this, suppose I would like to move to that particular table, I have just to press control and click here table 1. So I will move automatically to the table 1 section, right? So this is how you can you can, let's say, manage your thesis this way, right? Now just let me keep the track. mm, Creating table of reference management. Okay, so we are talking about the scientific write-up, so obviously you have to cite lots of work here, so don't do it manually. There are lots of open source softwares are available, right? So let's say EndNote is a paid version, but Mendeley and there are lots of open source and free tools you may find. Just Google it. So today I will not show you how to import all the things in this EndNote or let's say reference management tool. You may find such kind of let's say tutorial over the YouTube. It's freely available. But now suppose this is a Rangel-Dell's pharmacology in my library. This is actually my library where I have collected lots of articles. Like basically it's not articles but the reference or let's say meta details of the articles and books. So this is suppose Rangel-Dell's pharmacology, and if I am writing something here and I would like to cite that book, it's a very simple. Just select your reference and just click this button. So it will automatically update here. So this is the number 1, and at the end you may find its reference, right? So look at here, the reference is automatically here. Now suppose I would like to give a reference of some article. Just say for example this one is article, and I will just select it, right? So it will here. Now another article, say for example, so this is 2 3, automatically it will add in its list. And now suppose afterward I thought I should also add one article here, citation here. So obviously the number will change. So I will, let's say, insert it here. So this is 1 2 here, and the number of these references are updated 3 and 4, and at the end you may see your references are being generated automatically, right? Now suppose what is the advantage of utilizing this reference management tool is, suppose you are submitting your article in one journal and got rejected, and if you want, you have to submit into another journal. So as per the another journal you have to update the style of your let's say these references. So you can do it automatically, as I have already installed this EndNote in my my computer system. I have one add-on in Microsoft Word, EndNote X9. So I will just select the, let's say, Vancouver style, say for example, and this is a very common style. So as soon as I select it, it will update my reference styles. And let me just show you. It is basically already it's in Vancouver. So let me update it in either NLM or some other style. Just 1 minute. But it is pretty much understood that you can easily select the see, this is how you can change the, let's say, journals, or directly, let's say, right? This is in square bracket formatting, right? And accordingly its reference get updated. So this is my actually reference section, so I will manage it reference. I will update it as a heading, and obviously it's a newer chapter, so I will keep a cursor just before this reference and give a section break here. So from next page it is started, I will again unlink it from the previous one and I will cite it as a reference, right? Okay, so one more thing, obviously. Okay, now see, if you look carefully the page number. So this table of content has page number 1 and introduction has page number 2. So actually there is a custom to give a different number formatting to the table of content style. So I will delete it here, and as soon as I deleted, so all the numbers were removed. Or you can do another way. You can do it another way. In go to the introduction section, make it unlink. So as soon as I will delete it, यहाँ से delete नहीं होगा, and it should be number 1. So I will update the field or edit field, or you can simply go and format the page number and restart at 1. So now this introductions section, page number start from the introduction and from page number 1. And in table of content, suppose you have multiple pages, then you can introduce let's say another style of, just 1 minute. Yeah, I can introduce page again here, but in Roman page number system. I have introduced Roman page number system here, and look, now it is a Roman page number. And if I am still continuing in the table of content, so this is table of content, Roman page number will be 2, and now introduction, it will start with the page number 1. So this is how nicely you can manage your report in Microsoft Word. Hope you enjoyed it. There are still lots of options, so I suggest you should explore. Yeah, just let me give you one more thing here. Now suppose you would like to introduce some special characters. So obviously you know how to do it by just going to insert. You may insert symbol or equation, but I can show you one more option that is called just 1 minute, developer. Okay, so this option is not, let's say, enabled. You can enable it by just go to the file, option, so and customize the ribbon, and in customize ribbon there is the option a draw, right? So you may see it is not enabled, so just enable it and click it OK. So you may find this option in your Microsoft tab. So suppose I would like to introduce one here, and there is an option called Into Math. Now suppose I would like to introduce sigma, so just it's simply you draw a sigma. So there will be a sigma, just insert it. So there is a sigma here, right? Then suppose you would like to introduce epsilon, so just go into math and say epsilon. So you will get the epsilon. Okay, and now suppose you want to introduce a phi, so just add it, and you will. So this is easier option to introduce the let's say special characteristics. Let me try if it is available or not. So this is actually a Hindi word, so it is not there, but you can add the let's say options in Microsoft Word. You may Google it. So right now it is just Roman characteristics or special characters are installed in the my system, but if you install the Sanskrit or Devanagari special characters, then it will be available here, right? So this is how you can manage it. Okay, so this is from the my side.